right, welcome everybody to the first edition of a new video series that I'm going to be trying to do, and this is Forgotten Firsts. Now, the point of this series of videos is going to be basically to talk about what the title is, just first appearances you might have either forgotten about or you just didn't know about in the first place. We're talking about a little bit of lesser known characters. Some of those things got heated up because they appeared on a show or they didn't appear, they were supposed to, rumors, things that might have, again, spiked at one point, now have dropped back down. Just weird little things for you to just keep in mind that they're still first appearances, and you never know what's going to happen going forward. So when you're digging in those cheap boxes, these are just some books you can keep an eye out for. A lot of this stuff is going to be very cheap. We're not talking about expensive books. I'm not saying these are all great speculation plays either. It's just, hey, let's just have some fun and talk about some first appearances of some characters that, again, you might have forgotten about or you may not have known about in the first place. So that's what we're going to basically try to do here, or at least what I'm going to try to do here. No, I'll borrow my wife's shirt here. This Rick's College. If you guys know where this is from, and you mentioned it in the comment section, I will tell you that I will send you a free book. So there's a free giveaway on your way. So the first person in the comment section to tell me where this shirt is from, they will get a free book. That being said, hopefully you're liking the content I'm providing. So please like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're almost at 700. So if we get to 700, I'm going to give away some more free books. So I love giving stuff away. I got plenty of stuff to give away. So let's get there. Let's get there together. And hopefully you're liking it. Let me know in the comments. I definitely read the comments. I respond to the comments. I take feedback. I will run with ideas that you guys provide me, or I'll shoot it down if I think it's a bad idea. I'm not going to take every idea everybody suggests, but hey, let's have a dialogue. This is a community after all. Let's have some fun talking comic books, toys, and pop culture together. So that being said, let's get right into the books that I have for you right after this quick break. Okay, so as I said, this video series is Forgotten First. So let's look at those lesser known characters, those forgotten characters that nobody's really paying attention to these days, and give them a little brief spotlight. Remind you guys, these characters, these books are still out there, and they're still pretty cheap. So if you want them because you dig the character, you remember the character, you want it back, yeah, this is your chance. This is definitely your chance. First character out is one that I know is a favorite of a lot of people. It's one of those kitschy, fun things to say that you really like this character, but not that he's like the greatest character in the world, but he is a lot of fun. And that first character is D-Man, which you can find in Captain America 328. D-Man, or Demolition Man, is one of those weird, like I said, fan favorite type of characters. I mean, he's basically just has a mashup of Daredevil and Wolverine's costume on. He's a guy who got some powers from the power broker and decided to do something about it with those, with those new abilities. That being said, who knows? Maybe we do see the D-Man at some point. Maybe in a Falcon or Captain America Winter Soldier follow-up. We know who's supposedly the power broker right now, but I still think she's a Skrull. But you never know. Just an interesting possibility that might be out there. But D-Man, definitely a cool character in the sense that it's just fun. This is back when comics used to just be fun, at least for me. Maybe it's because I was a kid and it was a little bit different. But I don't have an estimated print run really to give you on this one because this is back in the 80s. This is 1987. This book came out, so I don't have a reliable source to give you print runs from that time. Suffice it to say that there were a lot of copies printed, and I know you've seen plenty of these in those cheap boxes. This is generally a back issue. You'll find that the shop is marked like $5 or $8 or something like that. And it's sometimes in the dollar bin. I'd pick it up. I know I found a couple in the dollar bins, but a lot of people, a lot of comic shops, because the comic shop owners are dudes from that era, so they know D-Man, and they know that's a $5 to $8 book, so they mark it as such. But you can still grab them pretty cheap if you want it. I mean, right now you can get one for $7. And you ain't got to pay shipping. I mean, it's the best offer, so you can maybe, offer $5 and pay $5 shipping, and it's $10 total. Hey, you do what you want. I'm just saying, there's cheap copies still out there. And that's what we're talking about here. These books are all going to be at least usually about $20 or less. So I'm not talking about big books, things that are going to cost you a lot of money if you really want to go collect them. It's just fun little cheap things to, to play with if you're interested in these characters. I mean, look here, this person won 3 bids at $325. Very cheap book to get D-Man First Demolition Man. Why not have this in a collection, right? Just fun. That's the idea. That's why I started with D-Man, because that's the idea of what I want to do with this video series. Just interesting characters that either nobody's paying attention to or people just forgot about them. Next up, this is what actually made me think of doing this series. I saw an Instagram post. I can't remember who had posted it or where I saw it, but it was Deathstroke, the Terminator, number 15. First Rose Wilson, who becomes Ravager, who becomes, Deathstroke, I guess, for a time. Great character. Slade Wilson's daughter. Just definitely a really cool character. And this is still a cheap book. I found it in dollar bins before, plenty of times. It's harder to find in those cheap bins now, but it's still not an expensive book. But I still think, even though we've seen her a couple of times now, adapted in television shows, I think, was this on Legends of Tomorrow? She might have been in Legends of Tomorrow, and she might have been on the Teen Titans show. Still, a character that's been adapted plenty of times, but I still think still has possibilities and legs going forward is Ravager. I don't know. This should be more than like a $10 book, is all I'm saying. Personally, I just think that it should be. It just should be a little bit more. Once again, this is estimated print run. I don't know. It's from October 1992, so I don't have a solid resource to get you the print run numbers, but I think it's also got to be a lot because, again, I've come across this book a number of times. And usually, again, it's marked. It's usually in the price back issues, and it's usually around that $10 range, maybe $15 at times, but you can still find this thing pretty cheap out there. I mean, right now, look, there's copies available for $7, $10, $9. Like, it's $10 or less. You can buy this if you want one. So it's not an expensive book. I still think it's a character that could have some interest down the line. But this is one of those first appearances where it's not like you're getting a first Rose Wilson here. You're not getting like the full-on what you might expect, first appearance here. But first appearance nonetheless. So definitely something to pay attention to. And if you find it cheap, definitely get it. Just reminding you guys, keep an eye out for this one. Deathstroke 15. Again, it doesn't sell for a whole heck of a lot. $12, $10. That's about the price right now. That's the market. But hey, it is what it is. Just something to remind you guys of a book that is, not bad and still pretty cheap. And I got one more. I'm going to try to do 3 a week on these, just like the other things that I'm doing, 3 or 4, depending on where my ideas are and where my ideas land. But my third and last book is a favorite because I used to find this book like a lot. I kept finding it in dollar bins, and I kept being able to flip it pretty well for like $20, $25. And this is Firestorm number 19. This is the first new version of Caitlin Snow, Killer Frost in the New 52. Back then, I mean, she was on the Flash show. She got her powers. There were rumors of her going to this next Suicide Squad movie. All these things were looking up for Killer Frost being an important character. I think she even joined the Justice League at that time, following the New 52. This was like during that, rebirth time, I think. I don't know. Killer Frost was a character that was on the upswing at a time. Now she's forgotten about again. I mean, nobody's paying attention. But still, this Firestorm 19 book is still a fun book that I always look for. Anytime I see Firestorm books, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this, and like that 23 and the other 19 and the other 3, which is the other Caitlin Snow, like the original one. Anyway, not many Firestorm books to look for, but there are a couple, and this is one that I always do. Print run on this one, I was able to get, again, cool look for the character too. This is something that could be adapted. We could see at some point in a new DCU if they ever get that off the ground. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath. They're mostly doing their stuff on TV these days, and I keep hearing rumors of movies coming that never show up. But we'll see. We shall see. April 2013, this book came out, so the print run on this bad boy is about 10,000. 10,603 is the number that I got. 10,000 is not a lot. 10,000 is definitely not a high print run, but I mean, it is Firestorm, so I'm not surprised that it's a lower print run. So it's not that easy to find, but there's not a lot of Firestorm fans, so this is a book that does find itself in those cheap boxes pretty easily. So if you could find this cover or less, I'd say scoop it up, because you never know. Like I said, it's still an interesting character. Again, this is not her first, but this is the New 52 first, but it's still more the version of the character we would probably see going forward is based on this version, more so than the original, which, again, I think was in Firestorm number 3, an earlier volume of the series. But the Furious Firestorm, the Nuclear Man number 19, you can get it for $10 right now. If you want to go buy one on eBay, it's $10 basically. $10 all day. And it's about half of what it used to be. Like I said, this used to be 20, 25 pretty easily, but now it's about $10. And one just sold for $7, just June 19th. So not that long ago, $7 for this thing. So again, it's a cheap book. So if you're interested in Killer Frost, you can still get this book pretty cheap. Again, it's one I still look for in dollar bins. I'm probably not buying it for 10 because I already have a couple, but I will buy it for $1 all day. And I'll buy it for cover all day too. But that's just me. So these are my 3 books. These are the 3 forgotten firsts that I want you guys to be aware of, with D-Man, Rose Wilson, and Caitlin Snow, Killer Frost. You know, just some fun stuff to be hunting. You know, fun stuff to keep an eye out for. So if you like this series and you want to see more of it, definitely let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Throw out some first appearances you think would be fun to throw in here. Again, we're not talking about the big first. I don't want to hear about some $200 first appearance. Like, you know, everybody knows that one. I want to hear some like random things, some favorite character of yours. Like for whatever reason, you know, Maggot was your favorite X-Men character, and that's who you first appearance you want to see covered here. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about here. Or Marrow. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Random, your favorites. Let's get this stuff out there. Let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. Again, hopefully you're liking this. Please like, subscribe, hit that alert button so you don't miss anything, and tell a friend, and let's get those subscriber count, you know, up past 700, on my way to 1,000. And I will see you guys next time.